Hi, my name is G.W. Childs, and I work out of Cloudland Recording Studio here in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm a Recording Connection mentor. I'm a mentor as well as a curriculum author with Recording Connection. And I've worked in video games for LucasArts, Lucasfilm, MTV, Fox. I teach project-based with many different students at the Recording Connection, and I like to teach in a way where they're able to develop their own songs, develop their own persona. I like to teach in a manner that is a teach a man to fish, so that when they get into this, they're able to get into a career that they can in a way that they can understand it, in a way they can market themselves, but also in a way that they're able to work in many different facets of audio, not just necessarily working in music. So one of the big things you run into the music industry is it's very much who you know. And one of the cool things about getting in with the mentor and the Recording Connection is the Recording Connection mentors are actually in the industry community, as it were. The cool thing about the Recording Connection is you start in the studios, and all the work you're doing with the mentor carries over into this community because you're doing it a part of it. Any song you're creating with me, you're creating from a level that is within this community right off the bat. And one of the things you run into is that when you're getting into doing audio work and trying to get into the audio community is not having anything to show for your work, not having anything to show for your resume. So I'm project-based in the sense that when I work with someone, you're going to develop your own content. And you've got not only a mentor who's in that community, but a school that's driving behind you to assure a level of success that you really can't get with another school. What I have a problem with in a classroom environment is that when you go into a classroom and that's where you're predominantly learning all this, you're not really in the studio environment, you're in a clinical environment where the gear's not actually even hooked up the way it would be in a real studio. But the other thing about it is you're not being exposed to the clients and to the rest of the staff and to the actual lifestyle, which if you don't understand it, when you walk into it, you're not going to last long. I mean, because it's musicians and producers and artists work differently, and you need to be around them in the environment in which they're indigenous to be able to really thrive, in my opinion. When you're in a classroom, you're not seeing the real life events. Or in a studio, you're seeing the real life mix situations. You're seeing the real life artist situations, and you're learning how to behave around the artist. It's an introduction to not just the art, the craft, but it's an introduction to the lifestyle. We've got a very eclectic assortment of gear here at Cloudland. We're equipped to be able to record bands with a 24-track Otari over there. We also have a fully working plate reverb, the Fairchild over there. We've got the Wurlitzer over there, which we're using which has got that warm electromechanical sound to it. A lot of my focus is on the internal plugins like Wavetable from Ableton Live. I like using that one a lot because I'm able to teach people synthesis visually and audibly at the same time. I use a lot of the Sonic Charge plugins. Love the Ableton proprietary ones, and also the Waves plugins as well. What I love about working with the curriculum at the Recording Connection is that it gives you a full range of not only like the theory, but it also gives you a full range of the practical exercises or the practical hands-on that you would need. What's wonderful too is when you're learning the theory aspect of it, you've got someone that you can actually talk to about it as opposed to having to wrap your head around it. So you're in even if you're working remotely with me, I'm working in a physical studio where I can at least demonstrate the concepts that you're reading about. One of my recent business students was in had a job with a record label before she graduated. So that was a recent one, and she also monetized a YouTube channel within that set of time, and doing incredible things. One thing that really attracts me is people that are passionate, and people that, even on the interview, call me on time, the people that are there when they say they're gonna be there. When you meet me, one of the things you're gonna run into quick is that I really like to have fun. And my whole way of teaching is based around this, because I don't want to be bored any more than the student does. And essentially the way I like to work is just the way that we did when we were in high school. Let's spitball something, think it out, we'll talk it out together like human beings, and once we've got something cool, I'll show you how to make a foundation for real that you can build out of and that you can finish it. Because that's what I'm all about, not just starting a project, but finishing it and completing something that you're proud of.